My name is Brian Glick. Today we are looking at an entry into the front triangle and how we can use our partner's response to set up a secondary attack, because the triangle is such a common attack, gi or no gi, from the front, from the guard position, that you have to anticipate that your partner is going to know at least one good defense or one good response to the triangle attack. Most submissions in Jiu-Jitsu, it doesn't work where you go right into it and all of a sudden it works, okay? Most of the time you need to attack and then you need to follow up and then you need to attack and adjust and attack and adjust and work your way progressively toward the submission. So, partners on their knees, we're gonna begin by taking a 2-on-1 grip. That's gonna involve us taking our inside arm to the outside of our partner's wrist and scoring a wrist grip. Then we're going to take our second hand and we're going to control above our partner's elbow. So we've got two joints controlled here, one at the wrist, one here at the elbow. Then we're going to place our same side foot as the arm that we're controlling in our partner's hip. And these two things are going to help us to regulate distance. This is usually a pushing, although it can also be a pulling. And our second foot, or our foot here, is going to be a pushing grip. So this is going to regulate distance between us, the lower part of the body. This is going to regulate distance, the upper part of the body. The triangle entry, just a very basic sliding entry. We're going to draw our partner's arm forward by taking their hand to our hip. We're going to put our foot on the mat and slide forward. Then we're going to cast our hips up and our legs up and trap so that we have a position, rotate slightly please, where we have initially trapped our partner. We call this a trap triangle. And we have our partner's head and their shoulder control. If we were entering into the front triangle, the omote sankaku, we would take our arm and usually scoop inside our partner's leg or at their shoulder. We would cover our partner's shoulder on the far side, pivot here, creating a windshield wiper, control our own shin, and then lock the figure of 4 here. You have your finish. Now, there are going to be plenty of times where you're going to work, you're in the trap triangle, and your partner does the right thing. The right thing here is for them to take their elbow out to your far hip. Just to come out this way a little bit. So, or rather I said your far hip, I meant your near hip. So your near hip gets blocked out. When your partner holds your hip in this fashion with their elbow, it makes it very, very difficult to draw their arm across. Okay, most of the time your partner knows that if you can bring their elbow to your outside hip here, now it's much easier for you to windshield wiper and lock the triangle. So, our partner locks their elbow in place here and we feel like we can't move our partner's arm. Not only that, if you unlock your legs here, you end up with your partner posturing up and slipping the elbow inside. Now you lose the position and your good setup for the trap triangle into the triangle is gone. So when we see our partner locking their elbow in place, we're going to change our attack. We're no longer looking now for the triangle. Instead, we're going to attack this arm that's exposed. We're going to put our hand underneath, so you're going to take a palm-up grip around your partner's wrist and you're going to join your second hand to your first hand. This elbow, because your partner's gluing it to your hip, they're securing the fulcrum of the lock on the arm that we're going to look at for you. The tighter they hold their elbow, the better this is. We're going to draw our partner's hand in an arc towards our chin and then back down towards their knee. So it's going to bring their hand out to the side here. It's very important that your heels are down and your hips are engaged. You're going to take your partner's wrist out to the side, form a double push, and now from here you have a very strong version of almost like an Americana lock. What's happening is your partner's elbow is stuck in place and you're able to move your partner's wrist to the outside of their elbow in line with their shoulder. And this is essentially the same finish as a keylock. Okay? So, the mechanics once again, and then we'll look at the full entry. Rotate a little bit more, please. So your partner's elbow is locked out to the side here. They're preventing you from moving the arm across. So we take a grip inside the wrist. We take a secondary grip to support that first grip. Now, we draw our partner's hand in an arc towards our face. You're not lifting your partner's arm up. If you take the hand up in this fashion, a lot of times they start to straighten the arm out and then you lose the lock. Instead, we're going to draw our partner's wrist towards our head first. Now, this knee comes slightly forward. We focus on hips up, okay, rather than our hips relaxed. And now from here, you're simply taking your partner's hand outside the line of their shoulder, and you're here in a position where you get a very strong finish. Okay, so the entry, once again, facing a partner here, we come out 1, 2, We post the foot, we draw our body in, we raise our hips up, and we're in the trap triangle. Ideally, we go right into the triangle, moving the elbow across, scooping, turning, and locking. Your partner is a smart person, they bring the elbow here and lock. Any attempts to unlock the guard now and readjust, it's not going to work. You're going to face your partner's resistance and their posture. So, from the trap, we find the inside position 1, secondary position 2 here, and we use this elbow as the fulcrum. Our knee comes forward, our hip comes up, and we move our partner's arm out to the side. You can even switch your second hand here for a little more power to push, so you get a double drive out in this direction. The next question becomes, well, what happens if in the process of doing this, your partner straightens their arm? Because sometimes a smart person realizes the pressure and they begin to straighten the arm, taking the fulcrum away. Their elbow leaves your hip. Well, when that happens, you're simply going right back into the triangle. So that would look something like this. We get our grip, post, draw our body in, fire the leg up, lock, and we're covering here. Your partner initially prevents their elbow from going across by locking on your hip. You come into position and you begin to rotate. Under the pressure, your partner now starts to straighten that arm out. When the arm goes out in this fashion, there's no more bend, there's no more finish. But there is a rotation back in the other direction, the chance to move the arm off. You'll cover your partner's shoulder, windshield wiper out, hips up lock, and you're back into your original initial attack. So we have here a strong grip. Partner defends the triangle. You have a Keylock variation, Americana variation from inside that trap. And if that doesn't work, you go right back to the triangle that you started with. So hopefully this was helpful for you. You enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.